right? Or so what is social action? Social action is meaningful act, or that action to which the actor attaches some subjective meaning, which is oriented in its course. Meaning it is, takes into account the behavior of other members of the society. So that is how Weber simply defines social action. For him, sociology is the scientific assessment or analysis of social action. So it is a science which attempts to interpret the social actions of social actors, right? And their their causal relationships which govern them, right? Then Weber classifies social action into broadly 4 types, namely emotional, traditional, Zweck rational, and worth rational, which are characterized by emotional action being driven by certain emotional states of the actor, traditional action in sync with the customs or customary habits, Zweck rational in which goals as well as means are chosen rationally, while worth rational wherein the goal may not be chosen rationally but the means are decidedly rational. And we had said that which kind of these types, what a social action classifiers, depends on the subjective meaning attached by the social actor to his actions. So eventually, seemingly the same act, maybe of different types depending on the subjective meaning which an actor attaches. So that is about that. And then we had discussed what? We had discussed his, help me here, if I'm getting old. What did we discuss next after social action? Yes, his methodology. So his methodology has 3 main pillars, namely causal pluralism, Verstehen, and ideal type. Causal pluralism means that Weberian sociology is basically a humble sociology, unlike say Marxist sociology, which is very pompous and ambitious. Marx claims that he has been able to identify the root causative element throughout human history, which is changes in the realm of the economy. So Marx is accused of economic determinism. His theory is considered as broadly monocausal. In stark contrast, Weberian theory underlines or highlights the plurality of causes which exist in any social situation. Right? Verstehen means to interpret or to understand. So to understand the meaning attached by a social actor to his actions, it has 2 components. One is direct observational understanding, and then you have empathetic listening. Right? So both are required, or explanatory understanding. Direct observational understanding, simply by observing the social actor, one may be able to deduce some aspects of the social reality. However, it will not give us a complete picture of the social reality. To understand the meanings and motives of the social actor, the researcher must put himself imaginatively into the shoes of the social actor, in his place, and try to, basically feel what the social actor is feeling, right? In order to understand why he is behaving in a particular way in a particular situation. Now, just note down one thing, which may have escaped mention in the last lecture, pertaining to Verstehen. Note down the sentence. One need not be Caesar. One need not be Caesar. You can check up the spelling of Caesar. This is my rough estimate. One need not be Caesar in order to understand Caesar. One need not be Caesar in order to understand Caesar. Who said this? Max Weber. What does it mean? He's saying in the context of the method of Verstehen. The word Caesar refers to the king, right, or a monarch in olden times. Now, what this means, simply put, or translated into English, one need not be a king in order to understand a king. In other words, friends, with this one declaration, Weber is highlighting the immense potential of application of the Verstehen method across time and space. Across time and space. That one need not be of a particular social grouping to understand the actions of that category of people. In other words, tell me friends, if I am a male researcher, can I understand the meaning attached by a female social actor to her actions? Why a woman does what she does? Can a man or a male researcher understand that? Yes, you can. What does one need to do? The male researcher will have to imaginatively place himself in the shoes of the female social actor. Are you with me? So, this indicates that Verstehen has very wide, immense potential of very, very wide application. Can an American researcher understand the actions of a rural Indian? Yes, you can. Can an upper caste researcher understand the meanings and motives of a Dalit social actor? Yes, he can. What does one need to do? One needs to imaginatively place himself in the place of the social actor. This is what he's trying to say. And across time and space, Weber himself applied it. So when he was writing in the 20th century, Weber, okay, or late 19th century. And he understood the meanings and motives of the Protestants, the early capitalists, several centuries ago. So one need not live in the same time span, one need not live in the, belong to the same social group or have the same social environment as a social actor in order to understand him. What do you need to do? You meaning the researcher, he must kind of imaginatively place himself in the shoes of the social actor. Okay. Weber ne to keh diya. Okay, so Weber has said this and gone. Does it seem too far-fetched or does it seem like practically possible? My personal take on this is that the researcher may end up with a multiple personality disorder. You do require a certain level of cultural affinity or familiarity in order to understand the context of the actions of another. If an American researcher has no inkling of the dynamics of the caste system or the historical and contemporary practice of untouchability, how the hell will he be able to gauge the social actions or the meanings and motives of a Brahmin social actor or a Dalit social actor in contemporary India? Okay? But be that as it may, I am not of consequence. Weber is. Okay? So this was Weber's understanding that this method of Verstehen has very, very wide application across time and space. Now, and then we discussed ideal type. What are ideal types? These are simply concepts or models which the researcher develops by selecting certain elements from the phenomena understood. It does not capture the whole of reality. Only some aspects of reality are captured in the ideal type. It is not. There is no reproduction of the ideal type in empirical world. So the ideal type does not exist anywhere in reality. Yet it is not completely divorced from that social reality because it is created after a very thorough understanding of the empirical reality. Right? So it is at the end of the day a methodological tool which aids the researcher in conducting his research. Particularly, it helps us in conducting comparative analysis. Right? So by creating a model or an ideal type of democracy or bureaucracy, we can compare democracy in India with Pakistan, with US, with France, etc. Right? So it can be used as a tool that enables or facilitates comparison. It also helps to remove ambiguity and obscurity. It helps us therefore clearly define various concepts, and thereby it aids empirical research. It also helps to make it more objective, since the values of the researcher are kept aside while developing the ideal type. So this was about ideal type, and I think this is where we had ended the last lecture. Chali. And why do we develop ideal types? It is because social reality is vast, unorganized and chaotic, and it is essentially incomprehensible. So in order to make some sense of this very complicated and complex social reality, these ideal types will help us to, in developing somewhat of a neat classification of the social world. Chali. With that, let us move ahead. And where do we move? To the next topic, which is authority. Let us try to appreciate what is authority. Now, authority, friends, is a very, very everyday kind of usage wala English word, right? It is not at all esoteric or, it is not a sociological jargon. It is a regular English word which many of us may have used any number of times, right? So tell me, you of course being acquainted with the English language, what is your understanding? What is authority? What is your layman understanding? What is authority? Okay, so I'm getting many inputs. It is power, reasonable power, superiority, rights an individual gets with a position. It is power and power. It is power to give orders, power to control and guide, holding power, legal power, power over something. Yes, so one word which is like a recurrent theme while trying to understand authority is power. Decision-making power, legitimate power, the right to give instructions, the power to influence action of others. Right, thank you for your inputs. So yes, the concept of authority is in fact intimately connected to the concept of power. In fact, oftentimes in regular usage, the two terms may be used interchangeably. So does Modi ji have authority to frame laws? Yes, he does. Right, the government of India or the parliament, does it have the power to frame laws? Yes, it does. Right, so oftentimes we may use the two terms interchangeably. But and yes, it is not entirely incorrect. Okay, and authority has got a lot to do with power, but they are not the same. Okay, how they are different, I'll just explain. Let us try to appreciate what is power. Now, all of you have mentioned the word power to explain authority, okay, or you have qualified it to be some particular type of power. What is power? When can we say that an individual A has power over individual B, or has power? Can you help me to understand what is power? Enjoys a superior position, ability to influence the actions of others, capacity to direct for actions, if he is in a position to give orders, if he has influence over others. Yes, pretty much it is what you guys are suggesting. Okay? So what is power? Roughly, power is the ability of a person or a group of persons. Power is the ability of a person or group of persons to influence or shape or determine the actions of others. Meaning what, friends? If I can have you do something the way I want it done, then I can be said to enjoy power over you. The ability of a person or group of persons to influence or direct or shape the actions of others, to have their way in a social situation. It is the ability of a person or group of persons to have their way in a social situation. Now, which social institution is the domain of power? Tell me, friends, which domain of society, which social institution deals with power? It is the political system or the government, broadly, right? So the political system, more broadly, deals with power. Or politics is what? It is a struggle for power, simply. And that is entirely correct. But is power also prevalent in other social institutions and other social relationships? For example, is the husband-wife relationship also a power equation? Yes or no? An overwhelming yes. Is the parent-child relationship also a power equation, wherein one person or group of persons can direct, control, influence, or shape the actions of others? The answer is yes. Is the teacher-taught relationship a power equation? It is. Is the ruler-rule relationship a power equation? Right? So, is relationship between various social classes or factory workers and factory owners, is there an element of power there? The answer is clearly yes. Power exists throughout society. Power differentials characterize all social relationships and social institutions. How about a group of friends? Are there power differentials amongst peers or friends? Say you and your buddies who hang out together. Is there an element of power there? Can we say, one person or group of persons can compel others or have their way in a situation? Is there power dynamics at play in a group of casual friends? Yes or no? Tell me. This is your lived experience. I'm not asking you some IT theory. The answer is clearly yes. Okay? Even amongst, why I'm suggesting this example of using it to highlight that even in a seemingly non-power kind of a harmonious, cooperative relationship between seeming equals, right? There does exist a power play. So say amongst a casual group of friends, one guy may be more assertive, perhaps because of the kind of personality he has, or because of superior amounts of money at his disposal that his parents give as pocket money, or whatever. So he would say, let's go to this XYZ place and not ABC place, which these two other fellows are suggesting. Right? Or something as innocuous as that, you brother go and buy me a packet of chips to Lekya. That is how, in very casual, power dynamics are revealed even amongst a group of friends. So point is, friends, that power characterizes various social relationships across social institutions. It is not confined to the domain of politics. ठीक है, though it is most closely and frequently associated with it. ठीक है. Also, we need to appreciate another thing about power, and I'll be coming to authority in just a bit. Power necessarily is a, okay, tell me friends, can we say XYZ has power? Is that a complete statement of the reality? Will it be correct to say XYZ? Can I say Pranay has power? No, absolutely not. Why? Because Pranay or no person enjoys absolute power, right? Power is necessarily a relational concept. It is a relational concept, meaning power is held with respect to or in relation to certain other persons. So we always say a more correct expression would be that XYZ has power over ABC. So a husband enjoys power over his wife. A teacher has power to control or guide his students, and so on and so forth. Right? So power is necessarily a relational concept. A person and a ruler has power over the ruled, and so on and so forth. So power is necessarily, it is held with respect to certain others. As a teacher, does a teacher enjoy power over students? Tell me friends. So most of you are generous enough to grant me some power over you. Now, even in this or in any relationship, is the power absolute? The teacher has power over students to tell them when to write and when to stop writing and start listening. I have the power to tell you to respond to my question. I have the power to ABC, right? But do I have the power to tell you to stand on the chair and dance? No. Modi ji being very powerful, if he tells you that you go and shoot this fellow, will you do it? No. So Modi ji does not have power to tell you to give you assassination orders. He may enjoy that power over Amit Shah, right? But not over you. So point is that power is necessarily context specific. It is limited, right? Even to the seemingly most powerful person. Okay, the power they enjoy, it is relational or it is held in relation to certain others and not other people. And even those amongst whom they enjoy power, it is not always absolute, but it is mostly constrained or limited by various factors. Okay? Now, so that is the context or notion of power. The ability of a person or group of persons to have their way, to get things done the way they want them done by others. Is simply that is power. Now, are power and authority same? Or are they? They are definitely related, no doubt. But let us try to appreciate how are they different. They are not the same, they are related but different from each other. And how are they different? Power may be of two types: legitimate power and illegitimate power. Legitimate and illegitimate power. What we call authority, it is another word for legitimate power. Okay. What do we mean by legitimate and illegitimate power? What do you understand by the term legitimate? We've understood power. What do you understand by the English term legitimate or legitimate power? Legal, lawful, defined by law. Most of you are suggesting it is legal, which is reasonable. Power given through the constitution. Right. Let us try to appreciate. So most of you are suggesting it is legal power, which is incorrect. Legal and acceptable, yes, that is more like it. Acceptable. It is not necessarily or it is not the same thing as legal. Legal means that which has a basis in law. That is legal. Legitimate, on the other hand, means that which is considered as reasonable, acceptable, just and fair. Okay, that is legitimacy. If I were permitted to use a Hindi word, it is jayaz. Illegitimate means na jayaz, right? So we use the phrase na jayaz aulad for an illegitimate child. So it is about jayazta or legitimacy. Legitimacy means whether it is perceived to be just, fair and reasonable. Is it acceptable? And this is different from legality. Please appreciate. For example, if you are going on the road and a stranger comes to you and puts a gun to your head and tells you to give him your wallet, does he enjoy power? Can he extract compliance from you? Can he make you do something which he wants? Yes or no? Definitely yes. Those of you who are suggesting no, beta, I would strongly advise that you comply in such a situation. Okay, if you have a gun to your head, it is highly advisable. So most of us would comply, and that person definitely enjoys power, and he can extract compliance. Now, is that power of the robber legitimate or illegitimate? In other words, would you consider it just, fair and reasonable, acceptable, that this guy has got the right to do this? Or is it illegitimate, that he doesn't? It is illegitimate. Okay, so you think that guy has no right, no locus standi to extract money from you. So it is what we call illegitimate power or coercion. You are simply being coerced, forced to comply. Then another person tries to extract money from you, the income tax commissioner. So you file your income tax returns, and on that basis, the income tax commissioner, he sends you a notice that you must deposit XYZ amount into the coffers of the government of India. Is that person exercising legitimate power or illegitimate power? That is clearly legitimate power. Why? Because it is considered as just, fair and reasonable. Okay? Now, so that of the income tax commissioner is legitimate, that of the robber is illegitimate. Is the power of the robber legal or illegal? It is illegal. Why? Because it does not have the sanction of law or a basis in law. Is the power of the IT commissioner legal or illegal? it is legal because it has a basis in law. So there are various legal provisions, constitutional provisions, executive orders through which that income tax commissioner is sending you that notice. So the power of the income tax commissioner is legal as well as legitimate. That of the robber is illegal as well as illegitimate. Okay. But the two are not the same. Legality and legitimacy are not the same. For example, the power of a husband in a typical traditional patriarchal family to tell his wife what to wear and what not to wear. Is it legal? In other words, does it have a basis in the law? Have any laws been passed by parliament or the state legislatures which grant husbands to determine the costumes of their wives? No. So we won't say it is illegal, but it is non-legal. It does not have a basis in law. Is it legitimate? Now there we have a divided house. Some of you are suggesting it is legitimate and it is not. The question then arises is who decides the legitimacy of any power which is exercised? Who decides the legitimacy? No, it is not the society at large. It is the individual who is subject to it. So those who are being ordered or those who are the subjects of the exercise of that power, if they consider it legitimate, then it is legitimate. If they consider it to be unreasonable and unacceptable, then it is illegitimate. In this particular example, if the wife, she thinks that he is my Pati Parmeshwar and of course he has all the right to tell me what to wear and not to wear, then it is legitimate, and that would be the expectation in a traditional, typical patriarchal household. Okay, so it would depend on the perception of the wife. But imagine now if a very modern, progressive, feminist, highly educated and westernized girl would be married in such a patriarchal family setup, and the husband would tell her that you do not wear XYZ clothes, you wear ABC clothes. Would that power be considered as legitimate or illegitimate? Quite likely, then she may perceive it to be illegitimate. Right? So legitimacy or illegitimacy lies in the eyes of the person who is subject to that power. The power of the who? So I hope the distinction between legality and legitimacy is clear. Okay? Legitimacy is more a matter of the perception of the person who is subject to or on whom the power is exercised, while legality is a matter of law, right? Whether it has a basis in the law. The power of the government of India, okay, to frame laws governing our lives. Is it legal or illegal? It is legal. Is it legitimate or illegitimate? It is legitimate. Now, from the perspective of those striving for an Azad Kashmir, the power of the government of India to station the army, military forces in Kashmir, is it legitimate or illegitimate? It is illegitimate. They would think that the government of India has forcibly occupied our lands over which it has no rights, right? So Kashmir, so in their perspective, it is an illegitimate exercise of power. Through the barrel of the gun, the government has militarily occupied Kashmiri territory. Okay? Is it legal or illegal, the power of the government to station troops in Kashmir? It is clearly legal. There is a basis in the law of the land. So it is legal but illegitimate. The power of the husband was non-legal but legitimate from the perspective of the traditional wife. Right? In this case, it is both legal and legitimate. In this case, or that of the robber, it is illegal and illegitimate. So point is, legality and legitimacy are two different things. Are we clear on this dimension? Yes. So authority is what? Authority is legitimate power. Forget the legality. Authority is legitimate power. So does the husband enjoy authority over the traditional wife? Yes, he does. Because she feels that he has the right and it is reasonable of him to tell me or decide my dress code. So it is authority. Okay. Chali. So authority is legitimate power. Please note that down very, very clearly. Now, according to Weber, friends, authority can be of three types. Authority or legitimate power can be of three types. Depending on what? Dependent on why the followers are following or obeying it. Okay, or depending on the perception of the followers or depending on the perception of those who are subject to that authority. Depending on what is the basis of that authority, it may be classified into three types. One is traditional authority. Traditional authority. What is traditional authority, friends? When followers, I'll dictate a bit, but very roughly, it is when followers obey the authority because they believe in the rightness of customs or traditions that are, on the basis of which the incumbent has come to occupy that position. Okay, simply because you believe in the rightness of traditions, and through those traditions, a particular person is exercising that authority. Therefore, you consider that he has the right, or it is reasonable of him to take those decisions for us or guide us on those matters. Then that is known as traditional authority. Please write down. Traditional authority. Okay, when the followers obey an authority, or when they consider its exercise as legitimate, because they believe in the rightness. When followers obey an authority, because they believe in the rightness of obeying. And they believe in the rightness of obeying incumbents. Incumbent means that the one who is occupying. Incumbents of traditional status. Then it is traditional authority. Okay. The classic example of traditional authority is monarchy. That is the classic example of traditional authority. For example, why was Aurangzeb accepted as the ruler by the subjects of his kingdom? Because he was the son of Shah Jahan, who had been the ruler previously. Why was Shah Jahan accepted as the ruler? Because he was the son of Jahangir. Why was Jahangir accepted? Because he was the son of whoever he was the son of Akbar. Why was Akbar accepted? Because he was the son of Humayun, and so on. So their forefathers have ruled over our forefathers, therefore they have a right to rule over us. Okay, that is traditional authority. Please note down. Now, how is the authority structure? Okay, in case of traditional authority. Traditional authority typically involves a household of personal retainers and servants. A household of personal retainers and servants. As well as a number of lords. A household of personal retainers and servants, as well as a number of lords who swear allegiance to the monarch. Traditional authority structures typically involve a household of personal retainers and servants, as well as a number of lords who swear allegiance to the monarch. These personal retainers and servants means the close household, management of the king. Okay, personally kind of selected and groomed and nurtured, possibly over generations. And these guys would be cooking for the kind of the monarch, and ensuring the safety of the women of his family and the most intricate intimate circle of bodyguards, etc. They would be these guys. Plus, you have a system of lordship where the monarch is the supreme overlord, and sub-feudation is there. Those below him, they would swear allegiance to the king. Right? In this kind of authority structure, in traditional authority structure, tell me, friends, can the monarch, is he free to do anything that he likes, or are his powers also limited by something? Can he do anything that he wants with this authority structure? Can he modify it, change it any which way he wants, or his powers are also limited? His powers are also limited by friends. And limited by what? What is the limitation on his power? What he must follow? Absolutely, he also must follow traditions. So he cannot do any, novel thing, anything that he deems fit, any whim or fancy. He also must conform to the tradition, because that is what is the source of his own power. If he is seen to be violating or not respecting the sanctity of traditions, then it will erode his own power. So please note down. In case of traditional authority structures, the roles and obligations governing the conduct of various authority holders or officials are defined by customs and traditions, but may be modified by the ruler. So he can tweak with them a bit. Okay, he cannot completely supplant or ignore what the custom says, but may be modified by the ruler. Any other example of traditional authority? The authority of higher castes over lower castes in the traditional caste system. Right? Many of you are also suggesting Brahminical authority. Absolutely. So that would be another type of traditional authority. Or the authority of the feudal lords. Absolutely. That would also be traditional authority. Chaliye, let us move to the next. The second type is charismatic authority. What do we understand by this word charisma? What is charisma, friends? I seek your valuable inputs on that. Again, a very commonly used English word. Don't give me examples, tell me what it is. Attraction, attractive personality. Personality, which kind of personality? Influencer, influenceable leader, overwhelming. Ability to influence. Ideal personality, charming, with mighty powers. Attractive. Tell me, friends, Katrina Kaif is very attractive. Most of us would agree. Or Hrithik Roshan for that matter. But are they charismatic individuals? So it is not necessarily attractiveness. Modi, in contrast, is, with all due respect, less attractive than a Hrithik Roshan or a Katrina Kaif. But does he have charisma? Most of us would agree, and then even many of his detractors would agree. An enlightened personality. Now let us try to appreciate, this charisma is a very, very, should we say, elusive kind of a quality that a person possesses, right? It is also, please appreciate, very difficult to pinpoint that why a particular person has or is perceived to have charisma while another is not. There have been numerous charismatic leaders, individuals in human history. Can you name some whom you would regard as charismatic? Hitler and Gandhi, very, very different kind of personalities, but both are acknowledged to be charismatic. Napoleon Bonaparte, Jesus Christ, Churchill, Marx, Castro, Rajiv Gandhi, Abdul Kalam, Bhagat Singh, Mandela. Yes, many of these would be largely regarded as charismatic. Bose. Now, is it necessarily, has it got something to do with success? In other words, can we say all successful persons are charismatic? Veer Savarkar. No, please appreciate, do not confuse charisma with success. It is not the same thing. Right? So, there are any number of successful persons in the business world. The MDs and CEOs of these multinational corporations with possibly, these multi-million or so pay packages. But not all of them are considered as having charisma. Charisma is a very elusive, difficult to pinpoint kind of a personality characteristic. What makes a person charismatic if it's not success? Being famous or popular. Again, Katrina Kaif or Hrithik Roshan would be good counter examples. They are famous, they are attractive, so it is not physical attractiveness or beauty. It is not so much about even popularity or being famous. Good deeds. One person is suggesting it is about good deeds. Was Hitler, is he known for his good deeds? Or even Churchill for that matter? Okay, they are held responsible for the deaths of millions of innocent people. Influencers, so we have a lot of these social media influencers nowadays, right? So they would push products on Instagram and all. Are they charismatic? Oratorial skills. Is it necessarily good oratory? How many of you agree with oratorial skills? So yes, Modi does have very exceptional oratorial skills perhaps. But then again, many other charismatic leaders were very poor orators. And what better example than the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi? If you hear him speak, he was a very, very poor orator. Right? His clippings are available in the public domain now on YouTube. You can hear him out. Right? Very, very, almost monotone. And he would speak like, Metro Shikta Shidar. He had that kind of a totlapan. And very, very plainly speaking, unimpressive. Gandhi was, one writer said that he had a face only a mother could love. Okay? Meaning he was not physically attractive. He had a very frail body, not tall or imposing, not even a good orator. It is what in modern times we call the X factor. We really don't know. In like say mass media lingo, we really can't say what is it about him. But there is something, kuch to baat hai bande. And what something? Something which inspires confidence. Confidence to the point of almost blind devotion. So charisma is a perceived quality by the subordinates or the followers who feel that the leader has some, initially the concept of charisma originated from the domain of religion. So those people who could inspire a people to a new kind of religious, that a Gautam Buddha or a Jesus Christ or a Prophet Muhammad, these were considered as charismatic figures. They literally had a halo over their heads. Something, some sort of a tej. Something that would inspire people to follow them. Later on, this concept of charisma has been applied to other, to social life in general. So it is that those individuals, or charisma is the quality amongst certain persons to inspire confidence in the people that they can bring about a qualitative transformation in their lives. That those who are perceived to be charismatic leaders, it is perceived they possess some supernatural or superhuman qualities, almost, or at least exceptional qualities. That is charisma, friends. Please note down. Charisma refers to perceived supernatural or superhuman qualities. In brackets, or at least exceptional qualities. Or at least exceptional qualities. Bracket close. In a leader. That sets him apart. That sets him apart from ordinary persons. Sets him apart from ordinary persons. And inspires the followers or subordinates to establish an emotional connect. Establish an emotional connect with him. And they obey him on that basis. And they obey him on that basis. Okay? So charisma typically arouses devotion or kind of an irrational belief in the ability of the leader to bring about a positive transformation in the lives of the followers. That this guy, he will set things right. He will help me sail through in life. That is charisma, friends. Now, friends, about charismatic authority or charisma, let us try to appreciate. The authority structure that arises from charisma is fluid and ill-defined. It is fluid and ill-defined. Unlike the other types of authority, one we have already discussed, traditional, the other we will discuss next, which is rational legal. Rational legal authority or traditional authority, it is quite determinate and fixed. People can clearly identify who occupies which position. The rules through which people occupy an office are also quite clearly laid down and known. But here, everything is somewhat hazy. In charismatic authority structure, it is quite ill-defined and fluid. Okay, it may change. The other persons who occupy positions, apart from the top leader, the charismatic individual, other persons who occupy positions of authority in this structure either have some charisma of their own, or reflect the charisma of the leader. I repeat, as I have been commanded to, other persons who occupy positions in the authority structure either have some charisma of their own or reflect the charisma of the leader. There is no fixed hierarchy, and no clear rules governing the exercise of authority. See, unlike traditional or legal rational authority, here the people are following because that personality of the leader inspires confidence. So he or his, other people whom he puts in command positions, they do not necessarily are tightly bound by any significant rules. Imagine, say, let us take the example of the anti-corruption movement. Okay, so Anna Hazare, which kind of authority he enjoyed? Charismatic authority. So again, a very, very ordinary orator and a very non-impressive personality, as it were. But something told people that this guy is going to set corruption right in the country. So people would, throng to the Ramlila Maidan grounds and do as he said. And the other people who were in command positions, the second-rung people like a Kiran Bedi, etc., or an Arvind Kejriwal at that time. A Kiran Bedi, one may say, enjoyed some charisma of her own. For many persons, she is a charismatic figure who inspires confidence and devotion. Arvind Kejriwal, in contrast, was till then little known publicly, or he did not enjoy a public charisma. He would bask in the charisma of the leader. So he would sit at the feet of this guy, the great leader, right? Anna Hazare. And he would, become a Nehru to Hazare's Gandhi image. And that is how he also kind of enjoyed some authority in that setup. Right? Or you consider long back, say Jesus Christ and his 12 or 13, I don't know how many were there, I think 12, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, 12 disciples. So they were obeyed and they led to the spread of Christianity thereafter because they were basking in the kind of reflected charisma of Jesus Christ. Right? So, please continue writing down. The sources of funding of charismatic authority structures are not clear either, or are also not clear. So they don't have any well-defined sources of revenue generation. Okay, the sources of funding of charismatic authority structures are not clear. See, maintaining an authority structure requires money. Money needs to be spent. So how do you get charismatic authority? Often relies on charity or plunder. Charity or plunder for finances. Right? Now, one thing about charismatic authority, which we need to appreciate, friends, is that, what do you call? It is necessarily short-lived. It is short-lived. Why is it short-lived? Because it is dependent on the personality of the charismatic leader. So, at best, it will end with the death of the charismatic leader. It may end before his death, if the charismatic leader loses that charisma or that perceived superhuman qualities, exceptional qualities. If Anna Hazare himself became accused and became known that he had taken bribes, he would have lost that aura, that charisma as an anti-corruption crusader. Right? So these are perceived superhuman qualities. And if that perception in the eyes of the followers dies due to some sort of taint, accusations or anything, then the leader would lose his charisma. And say he doesn't. Okay, he continues to live on as a charismatic leader. Eventually he will die. So, charismatic authority will end. But does it end? No. Oftentimes it transcends the lifetime of the leader. How? If charismatic authority is to live on beyond the lifespan of the charismatic leader, then it must transform into another type of authority. So it may either transform into traditional authority, which we have spoken of, or rational legal authority, which we will discuss subsequently. There are three types of authority he talks about: traditional, rational legal, and charismatic. Charismatic authority, by its very nature, is short-lived, since it is dependent on the person of the leader. If it is to survive beyond the lifetime of the charismatic leader, it must transform into either traditional authority or rational legal authority. And this process of transformation of charismatic authority into either of the other two types is known as routinization of charisma. It has now become routine. So what is routinization of charisma? It is the process wherein charismatic authority is transformed into traditional or rational legal authority. For example, friends, the great Jesus Christ, or Prophet Muhammad, or Gautam Buddha, or Guru Nanak enjoyed charismatic authority, because of which they could inspire the devotion following of a large number of people, or a fair number of people in their own lifetime. Since then, they have passed away. Has their charismatic authority died with them? Or are their teachings, their dictats, their instructions still followed? Yes, they are still followed. So how? That charismatic authority of a Christ or a Prophet Muhammad has been transformed into which type? Into traditional authority. Right? So it has taken the form of church instructions or tradition, etc. Or religious custom, etc. It has, in other words, transformed into traditional authority. Right? In theocratic states, it has also transformed into rational legal authority. So say there are many countries which are Islamic republics, or based on Islamic scriptures like the Quran and the Hadith. So in that case, it can be said to have transformed into rational legal form as well. Right? Chaliye. The third type of authority is rational legal authority. Please note down, what is this? Rational legal authority is obeyed by the followers, or it is considered as legitimate. Why is it obeyed? Because it is derived from a legal framework, and impersonal rational rules, which are accepted as reasonable by the followers, In other words, friends, the followers believe in the rightness, reasonableness of the rules and the laws based upon which the person is exercising his authority. For example, do you obey the authority of the tax inspector? Yes. Is it because he has some awesome charisma? Or your forefathers have obeyed his forefathers and so on? Is it traditional authority which he enjoys? No, it is rational legal authority. So you believe that that fellow has the right to command you to pay certain amount of taxes because the legal framework and the rules through which he has come to exercise authority, they are reasonable. So most of these, okay, how about the authority of the judge in a court of law? It is which type? Rational legal authority. So it is not the personal charisma of the judge, nor is it some traditional this thing. It is because you accept the rules and the laws through which that fellow is exercising authority. So it is rational legal authority. Okay. So the inspector, the judge, the traffic policeman, etc., they would be in modern industrial societies. They would be examples of rational legal authority. I am repeating the definition of rational legal democracy once again. Rational legal authority is obeyed by the followers because they believe in the rightness of the legal framework and impersonal rational rules upon which that authority is based. Fine. So that would be rational legal authority. What about the authority of the bureaucrat? The one you are striving for. It is which type of authority? Rational legal authority. What about the authority of, now you tell me, Modi ji? What kind of authority does he enjoy? Rational legal? Many would consider charismatic as well. Sonia Gandhi? Traditional. So she seeks legitimacy of her position because she is the bahu or wife of so-and-so who was the son of so-and-so and so on and so forth. And many followers obey her on that basis, that Indira ki bahu hai or Nehru ki whatever hai, right, or Rajiv ki vidwa hai. So it is traditional. Is it only traditional? Is Sonia Gandhi's also rational legal? So she has come to occupy that seat based on certain procedures, etc., governing the sham elections, in a party democracy in the Congress party. Is she also charismatic? Many people would contend she also, many of her die-hard followers, that she, enjoys this charisma, this enigmatic quality, there's something about her. So point is, friends, these are, what are these? Rational, legal, charismatic, traditional, these are what? In Weberian terminology, these are types of authority, alright, but these are ideal types. Friends, I was looking for the word, these are ideal types, so these are models, these are conceptual categories. So real world reality lies somewhere in between. It is often messy and complex. What about the authority of Baba Ramdev? What kind of authority does he enjoy? Does he enjoy authority at all or not? Does Baba Ramdev enjoy any authority or not? You bet he does. He has millions of followers who follow his instructions, his commands. And which type of authority is that? Yes, he does enjoy charismatic authority. Because many believe that he can bring about a positive transformation in their lives. So if he says you stand on one leg, people will stand on one leg. He says you breathe through one nostril, they do that. Right? Or you do Kapalbhati or this or that. And people believe that it can bring about a qualitative transformation in their lives. Is it any other type? Is it also not rational legal? Many people obey him because they see real health benefits from following his instructions. So this guy is an expert in Ayurveda and Yoga, and these are the medicinal and well-being systems whose rightness I have a belief in. Moreover, so it is for rational consideration that I am pursuing or following Ramdev. Moreover, within the Patanjali or the organizational setup, he enjoys whatever this thing he does, as per the rules and regulations. Is it also traditional? So many people would follow him because in our society we have this tradition of following, respecting, seeking advice from seers, sages and saints. And he has donned that Bhagwa Choga, right? He's wearing saffron. So he falls into that category of saints and, the ascetics. So he enjoys that also. The authority of the school teacher over children. Which type is it? It is rational legal also, because you believe in the rightness of the rules, regulations through which the fellow has come to occupy that position. And it makes sense, it is for your own benefit. As well as traditional, many of you are suggesting. Because in our society, we have this tradition of bowing down before and heeding the advice, if not the orders of the teacher. So it is also traditional, right? What about a private tutor? Like me, if I enjoy authority, do I enjoy authority over you? Would you grant me? Which type would that classify? Rational legal, right? So you think it makes sense to follow this guy's instructions? He is knowledgeable about the subject, and he has certain qualifications, certain experience, certain expertise, right? All three, that is very generous of you, may I say, if you attribute all three kinds to me. Okay? So that is about authority. What about bureaucracy? A bureaucrat. Bureaucracy is which type of organizational structure? It is clearly rational legal. Okay? On that note, we take a well-deserved break. After which, no, bureaucracy is rational legal. Okay, we take a well-deserved break, after which we resume. And we will discuss what bureaucracy. Of this organizational form. So, let us try to appreciate what is bureaucracy. What is your take, friends? What is bureaucracy? In layman terms, where do we stand on our understanding of this organizational form which we are trying to become a part of? What is bureaucracy, friends? The steel frame, the executive wing of the government, okay. Permanent government jobs, so that is what it is for me. That's what is in it for me. Those who implement government policy, yes. The permanent executive, yes. Group of officers, that is somewhat open-ended. Real mind of government. So all these politicians are just for shosha. The political masters. Policy framers, is it? Let's see. Okay, let's see what is bureaucracy. Set of rules, very well put. Or governing by rules, very well put. They act as a connection between people and authority, or are they the authority? Chali, let us see what is bureaucracy. As some of you suggested, yes, it can be considered as the executive arm of the government or the permanent executive broadly. Okay, and this is, I'll come to Weberian understanding of bureaucracy in just a bit. I'm just discussing the term in its normal English usage sense. Okay, so the government broadly can be divided into three branches: the legislature, which makes the laws; the executive, which implements the laws; and the judiciary, which adjudicates upon disputes arising from the application of the laws. Bureaucrats belong where? The executive. The executive can then again be considered to comprise of the temporary executive and the permanent executive. The temporary executive comprises of the ministers who are elected politicians, while the permanent executive is what we call the bureaucracy. So bureaucracy effectively is the permanent executive, right? So yes. Etymologically, friends, what does the word bureaucracy mean? It means bureau plus cracy. The suffix cracy indicates what? Democracy, plutocracy, autocracy, rule of. Bureau. The word bureau literally means desk. Okay. In other words, bureaucracy literally translated means the rule of desk officials. Rule of desk officials. Why do we call them desk officials, the bureaucrats? Because they literally sit behind a desk and take decisions, right? Unlike, say, politicians who are expected to be in the ground amongst the people, right? These guys work from behind a desk. Okay, a bureau nowadays is referred to or used for an office, okay, or any kind of department. Originally meaning or implying desk. In other words, bureaucracy is the rule of unelected officials. So bureaucrats are elected or selected. They are selected, not elected. And you are trying to get selected as a member of the bureaucracy. So you will not be in the hurly-burly or the dirty ground of everyday politics, mudslinging, etc. You will be working from behind the desk. Okay, and so in other words, bureaucracy is thus the rule of unelected officials. Okay. What Weber sees, so this is the common sense understanding of bureaucracy. Weber sees bureaucracy as an organizational form, as a type of organization. As a type of organization which has certain characteristics. One of the most salient characteristics of the bureaucratic organization is hierarchy. Meaning you have a series of positions in a vertical scale, arranged in a vertical scale, with each person answerable to his superior and seeking, giving commands to those beneath him. right? Now, why do we require a bureaucratic organization? Basically, the purpose of having a bureaucratic, or in other words, hierarchical set of, a set of selected officials hierarchically arranged is to accomplish large-scale tasks. In modern societies, particularly, friends, large number of tasks are very large-scale, and to perform those tasks requires a large number of people. So, those tasks cannot be accomplished by a person or a few persons, but typically involve a large number of people. So, those activities of those large numbers of people, they need to be coordinated. And for that task of coordination, managing, organizing everything, one requires a bureaucracy. For example, the government, right? So the government of India is entrusted with a very large scale and complex task, which is what? You have to govern India. These two words, govern India, have so many aspects to it. That means managing the health of the people, health and well-being, education, defense, money supply, and so on and so forth. How do you do that? Now, if you were to become the ruler of the country, and you have to perform this large scale task of governing India, how will you do it? You will think logically. You will divide this large task of governing India into smaller subunits. That includes, I have to look after the defense, I have to look after the finances, I have to look after human resource development, I have to look after blah blah, okay, what? Health and well-being, I have to look after science and technology development, and so on and so forth. Now, will you be able to handle all these tasks alone? No. So you will think, I will assign this task to Mr. A, this task to Miss NS, this task to so and so, and so on and so forth. So for each task, you have assigned a specific individual whose domain it is to manage that area. So say you have entrusted finances of the country to the very competent Nirmala Sitharaman, right? So will she be able to manage the finances all by herself? Now managing the finances of the country is also a big enough task in itself. So what she will do, she will further subdivide this task into various domains. That means looking after the capital markets, okay, looking after banks and non-banking financial corporations, looking after this or that, and so on. Then further subdivision, okay, say taxation or whatever, and so on and so forth. And then further subdivision. That is why a hierarchy. And then one official will be assigned each task. So at the ministry level, this is the politician Nirmala Sitharaman. She will be assisted by the finance secretary. Who is he? He is a bureaucrat. Okay. Then further subdivision, there will be additional secretaries. Okay. Then joint secretaries, deputy secretaries, under secretaries. This is how this bureaucracy emerges. Right? Simply because these large-scale tasks cannot be accomplished by one or few persons, they require the coordination of the activities of a very large numbers of people. Therefore, it necessitates the emergence of a bureaucratic form of organization. Please write down. Bureaucracy is a hierarchical organization which is designed rationally. Bureaucracy is a hierarchical organization which is designed rationally. To coordinate the work of many persons. To coordinate the work of many persons. In order to accomplish large-scale tasks. In order to accomplish large-scale tasks. And achieve organizational goals. And achieve organizational goals. Okay. For Weber, friends, bureaucracy is an expression of which type of authority? In Weberian terms, rational legal. For Weber, please write down. Bureaucracy is an expression of rational legal authority. Expression of rational legal authority. So what Weber does, he has developed an ideal type or a model of bureaucracy, which has the following features or elements. So Weber's ideal type of bureaucracy is as follows. First, complex, and we've already done this here, complex large-scale tasks, complex and large-scale tasks are divided into relatively smaller and more manageable tasks. Full stop. Every official is assigned a clearly demarcated area of authority and responsibility. Every official is assigned a clearly demarcated area of authority and responsibility. So, the defense of the country is not the domain of the health secretary. The health aspects are not to be looked after by the whatever HRD secretary or the defense secretary. Okay, each person or each official has authority as his domain. What is clearly spelled out or specified. Okay. Second, hierarchy. Another important feature is hierarchy. What purpose does the hierarchy serve? It serves several important purposes, friends. Why do we need this hierarchy? A, it serves as a chain of command. As a chain of command. Meaning what? Some message needs to be conveyed to this guy on the ground. Okay? On top you have Modi ji and the cabinet secretary. How do messages reach this guy? They will inform their subordinates. Who will inform theirs and who will inform theirs and so on and so forth. So it serves as a channel of communication. Which way? One way or two way? Is it for top-down communication or also the other way around? It is a two-way communication channel, so orders or commands flow from top to bottom. Any kind of exceptions or grievances, they may be escalated to the top. So if this guy is facing any difficulty in implementing orders, okay, Modi ji has decided that Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. So this guy is told, okay, we need to ensure clean railway stations, clean toilets in the public and all. Okay, now this guy is facing difficulty, so he will escalate to his superior. If he can decide, he will decide. If it lies within his domain, but if it is outside his domain, he will escalate, or he is unable to find a solution. So and so on. So at every stage, it will be sought to be resolved if it can be within the professional competence and authority of the person occupying that position. If it can't be, it will be escalated up. Okay, so it serves as a two-way communication channel. It serves as a chain of command. Also appreciate, friends, every official in the hierarchy. So this guy, the one who is here, whose official conduct is he responsible for? Only his own or somebody else also? Those who are subordinate to him as well. So if something is not being done by this fellow, he will not ask him. He will say, why has this not been attained or achieved by your department? It is his duty to pull up this guy. Right? So that is how, and this guy also therefore knows that he is answerable to this fellow. He is not answerable to 5 superiors. So there is a clear chain of command. Okay, so please write down. Every official in the hierarchy is accountable for the performance of his own official duties as well as his subordinates or those below him. Okay? Every person in the hierarchy, please continue writing, every person in the hierarchy is accountable to whom? Whom is this guy accountable to? Let us say it is the hierarchy A, B, C, D, E, these are the people. So E is accountable to who? To D, exactly. Right? So please note down, every person in the hierarchy is accountable to his immediate superior. So what we are trying to get home to is that this system ensures accountability. There is a system of maintaining or ensuring accountability built into the bureaucratic organization. Right? Next point. Bureaucracy is based on a set of abstract. Bureaucracy is based on a system of abstract written rules and regulations. Abstract written rules and regulations. And clearly specified procedures. Which are applied to specific cases. What do we mean? There are written abstract rules and regulations. Abstract in the sense they are not person specific. Okay, they are in abstract or general terms. They will be applied to specific cases. For example, you may have encountered the bureaucracy, say, when applying for a driving license, presuming that you have a driving license. So does it say that when Ajay Kumar applies for a driving license, these are the rules? And when Neha Kumari applies for a driving license, these are the rules? And when Ramesh Kumar applies for a driving license, these are the rules? No. They are in abstract terms, but clearly laid down, written, specific rules. Right? That if any person applies for a driving license, these are the documents to be submitted. These are the criteria to be applied. These are the tests to be cleared. And then they would be applied to specific cases. If Neha Kumari applies for a license, the same set of abstract written rules will be applied. If Ajay Kumar does so, same. If Ramesh Kumar, the same set of rules. So point is, there is a system of written abstract rules and clearly laid down procedures which are applied to specific cases. Clear? Next. Now, before we move on to the next one aspect, these abstract and written rules and regulations, what do they ensure? What is their implication? Like hierarchy helps us to ensure accountability. What does the abstract rules, written rules and regulations ensure? They ensure uniformity in application. They reduce arbitrariness. Okay. They ensure that all persons are treated in a fair manner, thereby preventing any sort of discrimination or favoritism. They minimize the discretion of the officials. Because of these rules and regulations, bureaucratic decisions enjoy a high degree of predictability. Yes, so I know what all documents are required for a passport, for a driving license and so on. Right? So I can be quite sure about the outcome of the bureaucratic decision-making process. Next. And since the decision-making is that much more transparent, predictable, it also increases the efficiency. So the bureaucrat also the official does not have to apply his mind afresh to every case. He simply knows if you've seen government officials at work. They will pick up your file, okay, driving license, you have attached this card or not. They're very fast, right? Why? Because there are clear rules and regulations which are laid down. Those cases which conform to them, they will be kind of processed accordingly, right? So it ensures predictability, uniformity, lack of discretion and arbitrariness, as also increasing the organizational efficiency. Next, bureaucratic officials conduct their official duties in a formal and impersonal manner. Impersonal meaning the person, the client or the citizen is not treated like an individual or a person with a personality or this thing. He's treated as a case. Right? The bureaucrat's personal dislikes and likes, they are kept aside in the performance of one's official duties. So without fear, without hatred or any sort of emotion, the bureaucrat performs his duties, with the kind of this coldness or lack of emotion. He's not driven by personal likes, dislikes, or any emotions. So, impersonal and formal conduct of the bureaucrats. Then, appointment to bureaucracy. How is appointment made? Bureaucratic appointments. Please write down. Bureaucratic appointments are made on the basis of professional qualifications, technical expertise, or open competitive examinations. Bureaucratic appointments are made on the basis of technical expertise, qualifications, or open competitive examinations. Promotion, right in the same point. How about promotion in the bureaucracy? It is based on what? Which criteria? Tell me. Promotion in the bureaucracy is based on seniority or merit. Seniority or merit. Seniority means, friends, the number of years in service, not your biological age. Okay? Seniority or merit. In Indian case, which is it? Seniority or merit? In our bureaucracy, what is the basis of promotion? Tell me. All of you, most of you are suggesting seniority. So are you saying that merit has no role to play in bureaucratic promotions in India? Yes. Please write the complete sentence. Promotions are based on seniority or merit or both. Typically how it goes, for lower level appointments, okay, or lower level positions, it is based upon seniority. And for higher level positions, it is based upon a mix of seniority and merit. Okay. Merit as expressed in your ACRs or annual confidential reports. So say they would, shortlist the 3 or 5 senior most officials who are eligible for that post, and from amongst them, it may be based on merit. Okay, so based on seniority or merit or both. Next point. For the bureaucrat, his job constitutes a full-time paid career. His job constitutes a full-time paid career. Please appreciate each of these terms, okay? It is necessarily full-time. For instance, teaching for UPSC aspirants, a lot of teachers are engaged in this task part-time. They're not full-time teachers. So they would teach 2 hours a day, and the rest of the day, they are engaged in some other business activity or some other job. Can you be the DN for 2 hours a day? That I'll come, I'll handle the stuff for a while, and then I'll go back to playing tennis or singing or music or something. No, you can't. It is necessarily full-time. It is necessarily paid. If you come from a privileged background, can you tell the government of India, I don't want your money, I'm not blessed, I have a lot of parental or ancestral property and assets and money also. So I'll work for free. I will not take a penny. Can you work for free as a bureaucrat for the government of India? No, you can't. It is necessarily paid. Why? Why the bureaucrat must be paid? You may think that there's a lot of poverty. The government can make better use by spending it on poverty alleviation, etc. Because only when you pay someone can you hold him or her accountable that you were paid to do this job. Why has it not been done? So it is necessary that bureaucrat accepts remuneration for performing his duties. Okay? Thirdly, friends, it is a career. What do you mean by the word career? You may have heard your parents use the phrase in the sense, don't go for modeling. If you're very good looking and attractive and, a lot of students or young people want to go for modeling. But there's no career in modeling. Take up something like, civil services. There's a career in it. What do you mean by the word career? The word career implies there is a clearly defined, well laid out progression path. Okay? So you can literally retire from that job, from an obviously higher position, having kind of risen through the ranks. So there is that scope for promotions. There are, there's lifelong engagement which is possible in that profession. That is what the term career implies. So you want bureaucrat for a day or a year or 2 years. You are a bureaucrat for life. Okay? So that is why, for the bureaucrat, his job is a full-time paid career. Nextly, tell me, friends, so the finance secretary, okay, he decides the contours or contributes to deciding the contours of the budget of the government of India. Tomorrow, if he wants, can the finance secretary say that out of this budget of 30,000 crores, 2 crores will be spent to buy a necklace diamond for my wife? No, clearly not. Or to purchase a bungalow or a car for my family? No. Meaning what? There is a very clear separation between what is the income and assets of the bureaucrat from the income and assets of the organization. Okay? So the budget money that is being spent is of the government of India, or the budgetary allocation of a specific ministry. It has got nothing to do, it is not the personal monies of the bureaucratic official. His money is what? It is the salary which he takes home every month, or whatever he has accumulated through official means, saving from his salary every month. That is his money, or maybe he may have inherited from ancestors. That is his own money. But it is not so his money is not the organization's money. The organization's money and assets are not his. There is a very clear separation. Please write down. So when bureaucrats, use their cars to send their wives for whatever, okay, purchasing ghar ki sabzi, that is possibly a misuse of the official assets or resources. Right? It's not meant for that. Please note down. There is a clear separation. There is a clear separation of the personal income, assets, and resources of the bureaucrat, of the official, and that of the organization. So even 5 rupees, he cannot say that, from the budget money we will spend for bringing an eraser for my daughter. Okay? That 5 rupees also is clearly that of the organization. He must spend on his children, wife, or spouse, or his own, enjoyments from his personal monies, which is very different. Please appreciate in the feudal olden times, okay, when monarchical governments were there, the Rajkosh or the treasury was also the personal finances of the king. The king could dip into the national treasury to purchase a beautiful bungalow for his wife or a necklace. But the present day rulers, bureaucrats, politicians cannot. Okay, there's a clear separation. Next. Okay, so we've discussed like how many features have we written? We've written everything, I think. Okay. Separation of official and personal. Yeah, 6, 7, good enough. So these are the various features of the Weberian bureaucracy. Now, Weber's overall assessment, please appreciate. Weber believed that because of these features, the bureaucracy was a highly efficient form of organization. It is Weber had a very, very positive view on bureaucracy, and he considered that bureaucracy is characterized by high speed of decision making, predictability, accountability, rationality. I repeat, it is characterized by high speed, predictability, efficiency, accountability. We can fix responsibility. So it is very, very effective to achieve large-scale organizational tasks. It is undoubtedly the most efficient way of performing large-scale tasks and ensuring that they get done in modern industrial society. However, friends, Weber was also quite aware of certain shortcomings or drawbacks of bureaucracy as an organizational form, as follows. So he was not unmindful of the drawbacks and limitations of bureaucracy. One drawback of bureaucracy is that it is a power instrument of the first order. Weber acknowledges that the bureaucracy enjoys immense power. A lot of power is concentrated in the bureaucracy. Why? Because it has access to public, large resources, financials, personnel, etc. Then it has this whole organizational structure and cohesion. And all this makes bureaucracy a very powerful organization. It is possibly this power which is of the bureaucracy which is attracting you to the organization, right? But the drawback is that this power that is vested in the bureaucracy, it can be potentially misused by the officials to serve their own interests or to serve the interests of the rich and powerful, the capitalists. So instead of serving the people, the bureaucracy may end up self-serving or serving the interests of the capitalist class. How do you prevent the misuse of bureaucratic power? Weber also offered some solution, which is widely applied also. How do you prevent the misuse of bureaucratic power? No, what Weber suggested was that on top of the bureaucratic hierarchy should be placed an elected politician. And that is the system we and other countries also have. An elected politician should be at the helm of the bureaucracy. The bureaucrats are selected or unelected officials. So they do not have an accountability to the public. How do you ensure their accountability? You place an elected politician. This politician is answerable to the public, the minister, through the parliament. So the opposition leaders, media, everybody will grill him if there is any misdoing. And he is responsible for the conduct of the bureaucratic organization of which he is in charge. So on top of the whole of the ministry comprises of unelected bureaucrats or officials, you guys, civil servants. And on top, you have an elected politician as the minister in charge. Now there is a problem with the solution also. The problem is, what Weber suggests, that the politician master, okay, he is the master, while the bureaucrats are below him, subordinates. The political master may not be able to effectively control the bureaucrats under him. Why? Because the bureaucrats are experts, while the politician is a novice, or he is a layman. Simply, he is there for a limited 5-year period. He has possibly no prior experience of the field. So when Lalu Yadav becomes the railway minister, he doesn't know broad gauge from narrow gauge. So what will happen? The railway secretary will tell him, Sirji, you don't worry, I will tell you. If he is able to effectively win over the trust of the minister, he can literally have him sign on the dotted line, eat out of his own hands. Are you with me? So the bureaucrats can manipulate their political masters and ensure that they enjoy almost independence, unchecked by their control. And this has been a theme in many political satires, like Yes Prime Minister on the BBC. And there was this Indian version, G13G, starring Farooq Sheikh. I don't know if you've seen. Are you able to relate? So the politicians are laymen, they do not have the expertise to manage. They don't have the technical know-how, experience, etc. of the ministries of which they are put in charge. Bureaucrats being a part of the system for much longer, having the requisite experience, having organizational memory. They are the ones who supply the information based on which the political masters would make decisions. So they can effectively determine what kind of decisions the political masters take. Are you with me on this? Please send some inputs. Thank you. Another drawback of bureaucracy as an organizational form, and this won't gel well with you personally, is that Weber suggests bureaucracy as an organization does not bode well for human happiness. Who will not be happy? Who will not be happy? The officials. He says bureaucracy as an organization produces specialists without spirit. Specialists without spirit. Please appreciate, friends. Bureaucracy is based on a very strict adherence to the written rules and regulations. Because of which what happens? The bureaucrat in his functioning is extremely constrained by those rules and regulations. Consequently, he is... bureaucracy as an organization therefore kills creativity, ingenuity. It effectively kills whatever it means to be a human being. To be a human being means to be inventive, to be creative, to be expressive. As a bureaucrat, can you be all that? No. You are expected to be impersonal in your conduct. It makes you unemotional, rational, cold, a follower of the rules and regulations. You are not expected to apply your own mind, but to adhere to the rules and regulations. आप लकीर के फकीर बन के रह जाते हो. You are reduced to a nameless, faceless bureaucrat. Yes or no? Devoid of any inventiveness, any creativity, and any basic human expression. See, Weber says that bureaucracy is rational action in organizational form. It is an expression of the process of rationalization, meaning the dominance of Zweck rational type of action in society. This process of rationalization, of which bureaucracy is the organizational embodiment, is fundamentally irrational. There is where he gets philosophical. The process of rationalization is essentially irrational. Why is it irrational? Because it takes us away from what it means to be a human being. We are caught, we meaning particularly the bureaucrats, we are caught in this iron cage of rationality. You are expected to become, will you be human beings or reduced to rule-following robots? You will be very well-programmed, efficient, highly efficient computers. Yes or no? Producing predictable results very efficiently and so on and so forth. And what will be your sole, what will be your driving force? What do you look for as a bureaucrat once you enter the services? What is it that you look forward to? Tell me. You will be looking for the next promotion. So you all, or the bureaucrats, will be, mere cogs in this gigantic bureaucratic machine. And bureaucrats are reduced to, these little men, writes Weber, who are, managing their fiefdoms, each being a small keg in this big and powerful machinery, holding on to your little jobs and striving for higher ones. So now I am DM. Now after 7 years I will be XY. Then after another 4 years I will be ABC. So let me do another value addition course and then I will retire as Joint Secretary Papa. It takes away from us what it essentially means to be a human being. Yes or no? I know I have painted a very, very worrisome and gruesome kind of a picture. Be that as it may, friends, please appreciate a career in bureaucracy is in many ways desirable, Weber apart. Okay? Or it is preferable to most of the other run-of-the-mill careers. Now, one of the students is suggesting that it shows that Weber hated his father. His relationship with his father has affected his writings on bureaucracy, but it is not a fair assessment to say that he only hated his father. He was also greatly in awe of his father. Okay? And that awe is also reflected in his growing appreciation of the bureaucracy. Okay? Now, coming to a close, keeping father apart or his daddy issues apart, overall, friends, though Weber does acknowledge some shortcomings of the bureaucracy, his overall analysis of bureaucracy is by and large positive. Okay, so he writes about the bureaucracy in very, very functional terms. He suggests that the bureaucracy is technically superior to any other form of organization. It is technically superior to any other form of organization. Particularly in modern industrial society, wherein the scale of most tasks is very large scale, there is no better way to conduct or meet those goals efficiently except through the bureaucracy. So Weber was of the considered opinion that bureaucracy as an organizational form will become more and more widespread, more and more prevalent in modern industrial society. So there is going to be, Weber wrote, a forward march of bureaucracy or further bureaucratization of society. No other form of organization can come close to the bureaucracy in terms of its efficiency, predictability, accountability, responsibility, all those things, and to attain these large-scale and complex tasks. So modern industrial society will witness, according to Weber, further and further bureaucratization or spread of bureaucracy. Bureaucracy, as we see, is not confined to the government sector. It has in fact become all-pervasive. All across various social institutions, across various aspects of one's life, we encounter what? Bureaucracy. Say, we are born in modern industrial societies and hospitals. Do hospitals have a bureaucracy? Yes, they do. Then we spend much of our young lives in the education system, schools, colleges and universities. Do they have a bureaucracy? Again, there we encounter bureaucracy. Then we spend our lives working, either in the government or in the private sector. Government, of course, has bureaucracy. Do the private sector organizations have bureaucracy? So, if you join the Tatas, they also would have a bureaucracy or this hierarchical formal structure. If you join the Birlas or the Infosys, you will encounter bureaucracy everywhere. Do political parties have a bureaucracy or a hierarchical formal organizational structure? Yes, they do. Do religious organizations have a bureaucracy? Do charitable bodies have a bureaucracy? Almost each and everywhere you go, we encounter bureaucracy. And this speaks volumes about the efficiency and utility of this organizational form, what Weber deemed to be its indispensability for modern industrial society, that accounts for its all-pervasiveness. Only one social institution may have been spared the development of a bureaucratic organization, which is the family, possibly because of its small size, right? So because the family is nuclear, small sized, or very limited number of people, apart from family, everywhere you would encounter bureaucracy. So that is Weber's analysis of bureaucracy. Now coming to a quick but important criticism of Weberian bureaucracy. Very quickly, friends, your inputs. Why are you not in agreement with Weber? I'm not asking you whether you are, I'm assuming you are not. Why? What is wrong in his theorizing of bureaucracy? Quickly rack your brains. Making bureaucrats as computers and neglecting their creativity. See, these are shortcomings that Weber acknowledges. He's like, what can be done? So he's more like exasperated while acknowledging those shortcomings. Chali, thank you. From a layman perspective, friends, tell me, Weber considers bureaucracy as the epitome of efficiency, speed, precision, accountability, and responsibility. Is that how the bureaucracy is perceived in the public imagination? Is that how you consider the bureaucrats, as highly efficient, or the exact opposite? So in the public imagination, or if you ask the layman, for him, bureaucracy is associated with red-tapeism, lethargy, slow moving, right, inefficiency, tardiness. Anything but efficient. So let us now try to develop a more systematic critique of Weberian bureaucracy as follows. Beginning with R.K. Merton. He wrote an article titled Bureaucratic Structure and Personality. Bureaucratic Structure and Personality. Now Weber considers bureaucracy in very functional terms. Merton highlights the dysfunctional aspects of bureaucracy. For instance, Weber contends that bureaucrats work in an impersonal, formal manner. And this impersonal conduct ensures that their personal emotions do not affect the performance of their official duties. So Weber is all praise for such impersonal and formal conduct of the officials. Merton, on the other hand, suggests that this impersonal performance of one's official duties may produce friction between the bureaucracy and its clients. Impersonal conduct of the bureaucrats may lead to friction between the bureaucrats or between the bureaucracy and its clients. What does it mean? Please appreciate there are many life situations in which clients or people, ordinary people, they may expect sympathy, some emotional support, or at least a kind of a sympathetic or kind of a sympathetic hearing. For example, if you have ever been to a government hospital, how's the experience there? Now nobody goes to a hospital for enjoyment, right? We go when we are writhing in pain. Imagine you have landed in a government hospital, writhing in pain. And what will you be told? Will they express concern, emotions, etc.? No, they will tell you that this is your coupon number, you arrive after 20 minutes, you stand in that line, you fill those forms, they will engage you in this plethora of cold bureaucratic red tapeism. And you wanted that somebody should have asked you, beta, what happened? Which they will not. So that cold, impersonal conduct of the members of the bureaucracy may not gel well with the expectations of the clientele. That is why oftentimes we try to avoid, government hospitals. Secondly, friends, Merton suggested that oftentimes bureaucrats get too focused on the rules and regulations. They become too focused on the rules and regulations, because of which they may lose sight of the goals of the organization. Bureaucracy as an organization overemphasizes on following the rules rather than attaining the goals. In other words, you become lakir ke fakir. You try to adhere to the letter of the law rather than to its spirit. Peter Blau. Now, what's his name? Weber, he suggests that, for these formal rules, hierarchy, channels, all of these are somehow contributing to the bureaucratic efficiency. Peter Blau suggests that oftentimes deviating or not following the formal rules, hierarchical channels, etc. can increase organizational efficiency rather than decreasing it. So instead of following the rules, sometimes not following the rules contributes to enhancing organizational efficiency. Suggests Peter Blau. How? For those of you who have work experience particularly will be able to appreciate. When you join any multinational corporation, any big, are you made aware of the bureaucratic rules? You are given this access to a rule book or the manual, which you are supposed to read. You are told the official channel is you go to your boss in case of any problem and so on, right? Do you do that? When you encounter a petty problem, do you go to your boss, particularly when you are new in a job? Or do you read that bulky manual to resolve that query? No? Then how do you resolve your problems that you face as a newbie in an organization? You possibly ask a colleague over a cup of coffee. Right? Or you may seek help from strangers on the internet, rather than going through the formal channels, hierarchy, etc. I joined a bank once after this thing, my master's, as a wealth manager, right? And I didn't know the ABC of banking. My immediate superior was the bank manager. And if I were to go to him for every small problem that I faced, I didn't know how to fill the bank slip, okay, which is attached to a check. I would have lost respect in his eyes. So what did I do? I simply asked a colleague. He told me. Thereby, I not only saved my face, I not only saved face in front of my boss, I also saved precious organizational resources, such as my boss's time. Otherwise, he would have been engaged in doing such petty things such as teaching interns about, how to fill a bank slip. I saved my own time and that of the boss. So does it take away from organizational efficiency or contribute to it if the formal rules, channels, etc. are deviated from? Oftentimes, it can lead to increasing, right? Is it clear? Right. Alvin Goldner. So just to emphasize a bit more on Peter Blau's revelation, please appreciate, friends, what we now know, that apart from the formal rules and channels, etc., in every organization, there are also informal channels, etc., which can be quite useful in attaining the organizational goals. Okay, and that aspect of informal organization is neglected by Weber in his study of the importance of the informal organization is neglected by Weber in his study of bureaucracy. Coming next to Alvin Goldner. I'll take just a 15 minutes break so that you can wrap up. Alvin Goldner conducted a study in a cement plant. A cement plant has broadly two parts. It has a factory and it has a mine. Let me write it this way. It has a mine, mining operations, and a factory. From the mine, the limestone is quarried or taken out, which is then an input in the manufacturing of cement. In the factory, limestone and other are mixed, heated, and so on and so forth. They are processed, and then finally cement bags are packed in the factory. Now, what he found, that bureaucracy, meaning a rigid hierarchy, formal rules, procedures, etc., bureaucracy in that sense clearly existed and operated well in one of these and not the other. Which part of the cement plant, the mine or the factory, saw a bureaucracy? Tell me. Think logically and tell. Very good. Most of you have answered correctly. A clear bureaucracy in terms of hierarchy, rules, channels, formal channels, procedures, etc. was evident in the factory, while absent in the mine. Why? So what this tells us, Weber believed that bureaucracy is the most well suited for all kinds of activities or tasks in modern society. Goldner's study suggests that the application or suitability of bureaucracy is dependent on the nature of the task to be undertaken. In the factory, the task was non-life-threatening, stable, predictable. So bureaucracy can work well. But in the mine, where there may be a situation of a life-threatening flooding of the mine or a sudden collapse or something, right? So when the situation is uncertain and potentially life-threatening, there you cannot work with formal structures and rigid channels. Okay? In other words, friends, bureaucracy, the study reveals, Goldner's study, that bureaucracy is not best suited for all types of tasks in modern times. Its suitability depends on the nature of the task which is undertaken. Burns and Stocker. They conducted a study of 20 firms, 20 corporations in the electronics industry. Now these companies, they had two types of organizational structures. Some of these companies had what they call a mechanistic organizational structure, while others had what are called as organic structures. Mechanistic structures meaning the Weberian type of bureaucracy, which is rigid hierarchy, clear rules and regulations, and so on and so forth. What they term as mechanistic structures. Organic structures means those organizations which were more flat, less rigidly structured, flexible, open communication, and all that. So the opposite of Weberian bureaucracy, in a way. Which of these type of organizations were more successful? Any guesses? Which type of organizations were more successful? So many of you are suggesting organic, which is not correct. Which type of organization was successful? Mechanistic is also not correct. It would depend on the situation or the environment. When the environment, meaning the business environment, was stable, which type of organizations were more successful? Now you answer me. When the business environment was stable, then the mechanistic structures were more successful. But when the business environment was unstable, ever changing or in a flux, those times organically structured organizations were more successful. In other words, friends, one type of organizational structure may not be best suited under all conditions, as Weber imagined. And contemporary times are characterized more by stability or instability, fluidity or rigidity. Increasingly, the business environment in most sectors of the economy are becoming unstable. Right? Basically, these organic organizations, they were more adaptive, more responsive to changes in the business environment. These mechanistically structured or Weberian bureaucracies were slow to respond, and therefore less suited to rapidly changing business environments. Warren Bennis. He has envisaged a post-bureaucratic society. He's written about the death of bureaucracy as an organizational form. He suggests that we will see the bureaucracy becoming increasingly irrelevant with its rigidity, hierarchy, emphasis on position, and written rules and communication. It has almost become increasingly outdated. And we will see it being replaced by temporary work systems within our lifetime. And this guy just passed away 5-7 years back. So these temporary work systems would be, teams that are assembled based on competence and relevant experience rather than formal hierarchical positions or titles that the people enjoy. So say you are in this large-scale organization at a lowly position. You are a mere manager, and then you have senior manager, general manager, vice president, etc. But you have the related experience or the expertise to handle a particular sudden change which has come about, confronting your organization. Say you know French, and you have to now launch a product in France. While your vice president, who is much senior to you, he does not have that relevant competence or experience, then who would come at the forefront to lead that French initiative? It will be you, who is possibly, so your rank, your position in the hierarchy does not matter. All the people with the relevant skill sets, etc., they will be assembled to take on a particular challenge. And then the organization may be confronted with another challenge, for which a new experience or expertise wali team will be assembled to face that challenge. So these will be temporary work systems that will come to dominate our societies in the foreseeable future. And this will also witness the phasing out of the bureaucratic organization. Point is, friends, Weber contended that modern society will witness increasing bureaucratization because of its, immense efficiency and suitability. Several scholars prove or suggest otherwise, that bureaucracy is not best suited under all conditions or for all times. It depends on the environment, depends on the nature of the task, and increasingly bureaucracy is becoming a thing of the past. In fact, in the current times that we are living in, of globalization and liberalization, instead of increasing bureaucratization, there is a rollback of the state. So the shortcomings of bureaucracy as an organizational form, that it is slow-moving, leaky, inefficient, they are well acknowledged. And alternative delivery mechanisms are being relied upon and encouraged by the society. For example, now instead of only relying on the government ministries and departments or bureaucracy, people are partnering with private sector or the public-private partnership model or civil society organizations, NGOs, who are working at the ground level. Right? As the Modi government also declared its slogan, minimum government, maximum governance. So the size of the government, etc., we are not wanting to increase. Rather, we have to ensure best delivery and customer or client satisfaction, which is the citizenry, through whatever means available. Another criticism, friends. Bureaucracy, Weber contended, was a rational organization. It was rationally designed. Critics suggest that bureaucracy as an organization, it mirrors the prejudices and biases of the wider society. Bureaucracy mirrors, reflects the prejudices and biases of the wider society. See, who are bureaucrats? Where do they come from? Do they descend from the heavens and start lording over the people? No, they are very much members of this society who have imbibed its values, who are in conformity with its norms, who then become bureaucrats when they embark on a career. So how the society thinks also affects their thinking. For example, feminist scholars have criticized the bureaucracy as reflecting a patriarchal bias. The wider society is patriarchal or has a bias against women broadly. Now, bureaucrats are also chosen from this patriarchal society. So they also betray those patriarchal mindsets. Right? In fact, bureaucracy is largely a male preserve. Fewer women bureaucrats are there. Why? Because bureaucracy as an organization is considered as cold, unemotional, rational. Women as a category of persons are considered in a patriarchal society as more emotional, irrational, and therefore somewhat ill-suited for bureaucracy. Okay? So whatever are the prejudices, the biases, the viewpoints of the members of a society also find reflection in the bureaucracy. So, with that, we call it a G. Okay? बहुत धन्यवाद. Thank you. For all its shortcomings, friends, give it your best shot. Okay? And you have to take a practical approach, not an ideal kind of a thing. Okay? This is amongst one of the better